Alright, and we are now live running some HO scale trains. We have right now on, of course, my brand new 1984 Southern Pacific SD40 of some kind. I don't know the exact one, but anyway, we got that on the Olympic. And yeah, I'll probably end up running some other trains. Anyway, I just finished watching a stream on a channel called M&M Rails. You should go check that out if you haven't. Pretty good stream. I enjoyed being there. Anyway, Athium Armedes, hello. Rio Does Things 19, welcome. Amtrak 9, welcome. Bruce Fairs, G Shoulder. Here, let me just set this to live chat so hopefully I won't miss anybody. HONN Scale, hello. X Murdoch, welcome. Metro Link Fan, hello. Frito TV, welcome. Wisconsin State Rail Fan, can you give me a shout out? Are you 10 or less subscribers away from 50, 100, 50, 100, 150, etc.? Speeder 10, welcome. Bray Lyson, Cecilia Mastache. I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. Sean's Trains, hello. Gillian Group, hello. Injector Productions, Project 29. NW1218 and friends, hello. Shocks Trains. I am the Milkman, welcome. Go Veer, go home. Welcome to the stream. I was just talking about M&M Rails' stream there, Chris. That was really quite a show. I was, yeah, really impressed by that. Kevin Jenner. Kevin Jenner was somebody who actually requested that I do a live stream, so I was like, hey, what the heck? SMT, run the Centennial, please. All right, Nash fam, we can do that. JEJL Trains, welcome. David Z to G Scale, hey, how are you? John Kazuma, hello. Luke Wells. Andrew Bryan, Train Time Boy, hello. Hey, SMT, catching the comment. What's that? North Kentucky Rails, welcome. Just your average Joe boy. Wisconsin State Rail Fan, yes, I'm 43. All right, well, everyone go check out Wisconsin State Rail Fan, who's only 7 subscribers away from 50. Do you have any Amtrak or CSX? Please run it. I do have some of those. If you have a specific engine you want me to run, I can do that, but yeah. Black Hand Ghost, hello. Fireboy 199. NW1218, friends. I think I already read out that name, but anyway. Hi, SMT, do you remember me? Your name seems familiar. Did you change it a bit to I Am Milk? Hi, can you restore two of my engines? If you want to talk to me about restorations, contact scrumptiousmodeltrains@gmail.com and we can discuss that, because I have done repairs for people, but there are just little conditions I like to work at about that. Anyway, Kevin Jenner, I'm still 7 away from 200. Well, everyone go check out Kevin Jenner Productions, who's only 7 away from 200, apparently. Tommy's Trains, welcome. Dirty Dan's Trains, hello, how are you? Okay, I got a lot of people saying hi. I don't know if we've got duplicate comments, because a lot of these people I have already said hi to. I do apologize if I missed anyone. Can you run Chuff Chuff? Maybe in a bit, yeah. F40 Productions, hello. Frisco Railroader, welcome. Do you have any Norfolk Western engines? Not that I can think of off the top of my head, although there have been times where I've thought I don't have a locomotive of a certain railroad, and it actually turns out I do. Alex Law, I have a question about your French model train. I've never seen it run. Are you talking about the TGV? Anyway, we're going to switch this little number over to DCC. I believe this locomotive is number 8. There we go. Random set. Hello. Oh, and we get a super chat. What is that? I can't see. It's over the amount. Let me set it to super chat. Oh, we did. Christopher Porter. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's no message, but we got a. It looks like a hippopotamus drifting in an office chair. That's interesting. Well, thank you for the super chat, Serenity. I think that's a super sticker. Yeah, I think that's what they call those. I gotta learn all this YouTube lingo. Auto Model Rail Fan, welcome. He only speaks Portuguese. Me? I don't know how to speak that. Why have you never run it? Well, I ran it in the video where I bought it. I mean, I can run it if you want, but... Yeah, hi, is your mountain layout done yet? Not much. The truth is, the last few days, I really haven't been working on the layout too much. I've been, just doing little random things, but, yeah. I think on the weekend, might make my way up to the hobby shop, finally buy those materials, clean off this layout, get working on the Hershey factory, because I think that one needs some attention, and, yeah, I'll get around to this one when I do, but Hershey is first on the list there. I want to drink maple syrup after watching your videos. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Can't say I recommend drinking more than a shot of it, though. Oh, man. Hey, SMT, I just used your technique for making mountains. It went really well. I'm glad to hear that. It's maybe not the most conventional way, but if you want to make some cheap mountains, I mean, these practically cost me nothing, so yeah. Do you have any articulated steam locomotives? I don't think I currently do. Well, I have one, but it's far from running. It's the, what's that even called? The Yellowstone. Another project I have to get around to at some point. I want to drink maple... Okay, we've got a few of those comments. Josh Digg, please say my name. Well, there you go. Joseph, ARCEO. Run a little switching train. Like an 040. Robinslav Bob, as I refer to him, welcome. I think something happened with it. I don't have as much area of chat, so going through these messages is interesting. David ZDG scale, Mr. Running Trains Live, emptying the garage for a move. Hello SMT, my Mahano 210-2 has a slight issue. The plug from the tender got yanked and somehow the wire got yanked out of the plug. I'm sorry to hear that happened. The good news, I don't think the Mahano products actually require the tender to be plugged in. I think that's just for lighting features. I could be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure I've had that problem on one of my Mahano engines, and it was all okay. Hey SMT, how do you feel about MTH shutting down? I think I feel the same way most people do. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I've never owned an MTH product before. I've heard mixed things about them. Some people seem to love them. Some people seem to think that they're a bit pricey, which they kind of are, I guess. But either way, I'm not happy about it. You know, it's a good manufacturer. A lot of people like, and I like there being competition in the market. I like people having a lot of different choices. So yeah, I wish they would stick around. I hope somebody buys them out and keeps the legacy going. JEJL, I went to Hobby House today. Oh, that's cool. Do they have anything new there? SMT, did you hear about the new HO Scale Go Transit Loco they just came out with for 2020? Yeah, from Rapido. A lot of people have been talking to me about that. Maybe get one. Kevin Jenner, Hershey Chocolate Factory. Yeah, Hershey Canada Inc. Oh, we got another super chat. This one is a person in sunglasses smiling, and it's from NM Rail Runner 108. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Serenity! Anyway, we're going to switch this up. Hey, SMT, what's your next Loco restoration? Well, I've got a great story for everyone. So a lot of people have been saying, SMT, can you please restore the Blue Goose? And so I've wanted to get around to it. So the other day, I cracked it open, and do you guys remember that other Rivarossi engine that had the seized corroded motor? This is the armature that came out of the Blue Goose. Look, it's even worse than the one that was in the other, and it took the bearing with it, so I think that motor's kaput. Plus, last time I tried to fix the motor, it didn't go very well, so I think I need to buy it a new motor. But the problem is those are all but too difficult to find at a good price. Really, really expensive. On eBay, they were selling them for 13 bucks, which for a motor that's used, that already seems high. But they want to charge me like $54 for shipping. Like, that's just crazy. So, yeah, I don't know if I can find a motor that's kind of like a mimic Rivarossi motor, like something that just fits in its place. But the problem is that I need to somehow then link it up to the rest of the drive system, so there's a lot of trouble. And guessing off of how the other two River Aussies turned out, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that this River Aussie engine probably has the same problem. I think they were probably all stored in the same spot. And yeah, that's the issue. Because the last time I restored this locomotive, I had the luxury of having another River Aussie motor on hand thanks to Nathan Delay. But that was a diesel. This needs something a little more specific, so it should be interesting. Anyway, we're going to run the Pennsylvania switcher as requested. They didn't request a Pennsylvania switcher, but, well, yeah, it's a little something for all the Pennsylvania fans out there. And also, they requested a switcher, and I need to pick something, so there we go. I don't even know if this thing's strong enough to pull this lot, but we'll find out. Yeah, it is, look at that. Barn full of trains, hello, how are you? When are you going to continue the Davy Crockett locomotive? As soon as I get adequate parts to complete it. I do want to get that thing done, but I don't even know how to go ahead with it. And frankly, I've kind of got bigger projects on the go for the time, so. One of my locomotives has the exact type of part in it. Can you run a DCC sound locomotive? Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm sure we can rule something out that has sound. Andrew Hayes, can you give me a shout out? If you're 10 or less subscribers away from 50, 100, 150, etc., then sure. There's a new locomotive. It's the DCC Maine in Quebec. Ooh, Maine in Quebec. Sounds kind of intriguing. I have the new Go Transit in N scale. Just got it yesterday. Runs great. It has a working ditch light and sound, all for about $350 or more, but runs great. Do you have any BC rail locomotives? I've got this really old lifelike one. It's not in great shape, but yeah. What about a can motor for the Blue Goose? I don't know if I can just... Here are the specifications. I need a motor that, first of all, I can somehow seat in the motor, because it just sticks on with 2 screws, so I need to figure out a way to attach it to the Blue Goose. I need to figure out a drive linkage to link up the rest of the drive system to the motor. And I can't just put any motor in it. It needs to be a high enough torque motor to actually run the loco, because obviously the River Aussie motors, they've got pretty big poles on them, so I think they actually put out quite a bit of torque for 3-pole motors. SMT, what's a good HO scale train to get with $95? $95 you say. I mean, there are really so many options out there. I can't really guide you to one in particular. You could probably buy a Cato locomotive for that money, and you get a pretty good blend of detail and reliability. So that's what I'd probably buy. Buy a Cato product. If you have, if you want to get a bit more volume, though, go to your hobby shop. See if you can find some old Athearn blue box engines that you like, because yeah, they'll be pretty good runners, and they won't run you $95. You can usually buy a few of them if you're willing. They're not as pretty usually as the Cato locomotives are, though. That's one thing that the Cato engines have over them. Can you run some Southern Pacific? Yeah. Erica Gomez, welcome. Can you run a DCC sound locomotive? Yeah, I'll run that. I'll run a DCC sound after this one. Greetings from Connecticut, aka the word. That's not true. Hey SMT, when will you do more N-scale restoration? I don't know. I've been looking on eBay. I want to buy some old N-scale engines, I think, to try to fix up. So, yeah, I'll try. Love to buy... They're very rare, but I'd love to buy a lot of old N-scale engines. Just go through them all or something. Can you bring out Nerfcat, please? I think Nerfcat's probably outside. I might try to fetch him later if everybody requests, but we'll see. Can you run the new Quail Valley Pacific? Yeah, we can run that one. I'll run the DCC sound loco first, though. I don't know what in particular that would be. I'll get one of these what is it? Century C630s, I think they are. Kind of a cool engine. Although I screwed up the horn on. I was playing around with the CVs and I accidentally reprogrammed the horn on one of the locomotives, so it doesn't sound very good now. Hey SMT, I saw someone that said you should visit Berkshire Trains in Kentucky. I went there in the past and saw an NS Intermodal. SMT, does the Flying Scotsman work? Okay, I'm just going to answer the previous comment. Yeah, it sounds like a cool store. Does the Flying Scotsman work? No, I don't have a working... I mean, first of all, it's AC, and my layout's DC, but also that thing is not in good shape. I found a 70-year-old American Flyer in my granddad's attic. That's pretty cool. Neon World, welcome. Reading Northern and Northern Southern Rail Fanning, hello. Can you run a Bachmann Mogul? You mean the only Bachmann Mogul I own, the sound one? I don't know. Anyway, let's get this thing off the main line. If you, SMT, or anybody in the comments have played... Okay. Hey, SMT, can you run the Amtrak GG1? I'm a huge fan. I can run one of the Tyco ones. This one doesn't run, though. I think I tested it, and, I mean, we can try to power it up, but I don't think it's gonna go. Man, if I were to guess, this thing probably has a rusted, corroded motor, just like the other two River Aussies did, but... yeah, sometimes these things don't seem like they're going to go, and then they just randomly start. If it does, though, I'm not going to run it for long, because you never know what's going on with it. Yeah, I got, like, a working light there. The current draw is so high, though, I'm almost certain that motor is seized, so... yeah, I think we'll just put this one back on the restoration bench. That should be exciting to open up at some point. Anyway, let's get this one on here. I have an MTH O-gauge hopper. I only got it because it survived a local Hocl shop burn down. It was a hobby shop with over 100-year-old train station. They rebuilt it. It's not the same. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right. Nathan Delay, welcome. You might have already joined. I don't know. SMT, can you run the roundhouse steam engine you built from a kit? I'm about finished making mine. Maybe so. Got a fair amount of requests popping in here at the moment. Anyway, let's give this thing some power here. Yeah, there we go. Has this thing actually been programmed? 45. Oh, so it is. This is probably the one I messed up the horn on. Yeah, I think that's the one I did something to the horn on. Can you bring Nerf Cat down? Well, I think he's outside right now, so I can't just go up and get him. I'd have to go out and look for him. I have 96 subscribers. Oh, well, everyone go check out Jimmy McKinley, who's only 4 subscribers away from 100. Neon World, I already said hello to you. What are you talking about? What do you have in terms of SP besides 4449? I don't know that I have any other SP steam engines. I've got that little 040 but with the cracked boiler, but I think that's about it. Do you have a sibling? If so, can you bring them down on the stream? I do have a sibling, a sister. I'm not going to go bother her to come down here, but she was in my April Fool's video. I think it was titled something like how to change tires on an HO scale locomotive. So, yeah, that's the situation there. I have 2 motors that you could try. The first was ripped out of a Lifelike and runs great. The other is a River Aussie or RSO, does not run. I have tried to clean it yet. That's good to know. Oh, by the way, you're not going to believe what happened. The other day, somebody sent me a message on Facebook, and I just opened this up today. It's a guy, he makes the magazines for HO Collector. He writes a lot of the pieces for them. He's like, yeah, I write a lot of the pieces. I think you'd really like to know about what AHM and RSO actually are. So I read all about AHM. Turns out RSO is actually AHM, and RSO is just a radio frequency regulation in Slovenia, where the train is made. So yeah, you learn something new every day, and today I learned that RSO is not a company. Once took a trip to Canada. It's a nice place. Oh, thank you. Hey SMT, do you have any websites you recommend for good deals on model trains? If you're in the States, Train World might be good. Personally, for me, their prices don't seem too bad, but their shipping was through the roof, so not for me. If you're in Canada, Otter Valley is actually pretty good for pricing. But generally, I find the mom and pop train stores are usually more economical than the online stores, which is funny because a lot of people claim right now that it's the online retail which is putting those places out of business. But most of the time, especially when it's just materials, like you need to buy some model railroading grass or rail joiners or track, most of the time when I go online to see if I can get that stuff, it's usually way more expensive than it is at the store. So yeah, that's the truth as far as I know it. Sparky, hey, how are you? How many locomotives and cars do you have? I don't know, to be honest with you. I think I've got about 300 locomotives if I were to take a guess. I haven't done a count in a while, so I really don't know the exact numbers. Hey SMT, this is the first stream I've tuned into on the channel. Do you have any locomotive that would have run in Minnesota? If so, can you run one? I don't really know what operates out in Minnesota, to be honest with you. But if anybody in the chat does know, I'd be happy to run one there. Anyway, somebody requested that I run the MDC kit. This thing really doesn't run that great, honestly. I think there's a problem with the quartering or something like that, because I find it's kind of... It just doesn't run very smooth. So I think I didn't do something quite right. But these kits are kind of sensitive, so... I don't know, maybe it just needs to break in. But in any case, we'll definitely try to run it. Can you run the O gauge? Because why not? Well, I guess I could try. I'd have to put on the bigger engine, though, because I don't think the little Scout is strong enough to pull that consist I've set up on the track there. JJL, if I'm 4 away from 15, is that a milestone? Yeah, the milestones are like if you're 10 or less away from 50 or 150, etc. Anyway, hey SMT, I'm not sure if you saw my comment, but thank you for telling me how to balance my track. Oh, well, glad I could help with that. Oh dear. See, this is what I mean. It just doesn't seem to be running entirely smooth. So, definitely got to do some fine-tuning on that. Anyway, I wonder if you ever heard of Strattsburg in Pennsylvania. I have heard a lot about Strattsburg. That's where Sparky wanted to host his thing. In fact, I think he's next year. So, yeah, I've heard some stuff about Strattsburg. I've been to Scranton, Pennsylvania. I love that city. Hey SMT, if you could run the Amtrak GG1. Well, we just tried to run that one. It doesn't start. I've got an old Tyco one, but those are not... They don't tend to be the greatest runners. Can you please run the Mahano TGV? Sure, we'll try to run this to appease whoever wants it, but I don't think it's gonna start very well. I don't know. This one's always been an interesting case. SMT, how do you put a switch on an N-scale layout? I do not have trains short out. They will go over the switch. I'm sorry. I don't think I understand the question there. Well, I mean, it's kind of running. This thing burns up, I'm not going to be surprised. Well, it's getting up there. All right. SMT, I bought 4 Concord passenger cars and they glued the wheels together. You can't move it. Can you run the camel back? Well, we'll try to run the TGV. Well, this is not running too bad. Although now I have to make a small repair on it because I broke this little number off. Anyway, do you have an Amtrak Sprinter loco? I don't think I do. How long did it take you to make all this? It's really tricky to say kind of the time span because this layout has existed since the year 2007. But the thing is that it's not like, you know, I'm building this thing from start to finish. It's like I would build it to a certain point and then, you know, you would change something up. So this has been through so many versions, I guess you could say, of itself. So I've been working on it since 2007. How long it really takes to build a layout is, I assume, what you're trying to figure out. So I don't really know. I will say that once you get some experience, though, you can definitely build things faster, though. It's just speeds up the job. You did a great job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Does the tram on the road? Yeah, the tram does run. Rail fan Andy, hey SMT, I really like watching your videos. I have a model railroad of my own. I'm trying to model it after my hometown. Your layout really inspires me. Thank you for making videos and being awesome. Thank you so much, Rail fan Andy. I really appreciate that. That's pretty cool. A lot of the stuff on my layout is sort of a similar situation. It references things in my life. So I think that's the same case for a lot of people. Either it represents like all the scenes they represent, I don't know, something you can relate to, or maybe a certain time or something like that. It's all for fun. Do you have a Fermix train? I don't. I've got a the other kind there. I can never remember the D, E, M, and E. I think it's called. I can't remember. Anyway, here's the TGV. We'll get this one going. SMT, are you thinking of getting an MTH engine before they close or go out of business? I'm not really in any rush to get one, honestly. I mean, the used market is going to be full of those for a long time, so maybe I'll buy one. I don't know. Thought I got all the wheels on. I guess I did not. All right. Nice daylight. Oh, thank you. All right, there we go. Now I got the Mahano TGV going there. SMT, is it okay if I send you a picture of the mountain? It's the way you showed all of us. It works amazing. Okay, yeah, sure. Can you do some multi-track drifting? I don't know if I even can multi-track drift with these new switches. In fact, it would probably short out because I did a bit of a no-no. These frogs are electrified, and you're supposed to have a thing so that when you switch it, it will change. But the thing is that I didn't have the switches for that. So what I decided to do is 95% of the time the trains are just going straight through. So I wired it to do this. And if I need to change it, I just yank out the wire, which looks like it happened on its own. But yeah, anyway, that's the situation with that. I need to figure that out at some point, but it was at least a solution to get that sorted out. Portland Railfan Productions, I'm getting DCC SMT. Well, congratulations, that's great. DCC, starting off with DCC, especially if you like to do like, you know, shifting cars. If you have a freight yard, it does make a difference. But if you're like me and you just want to run trains, DC is fine. Hi SMT, I have a question for you. So I know Ather and Blue Box made diesels, but did they also make steam locomotives? If so, how good were they compared to the diesels? I don't think Ather and Blue Box ever had any steam locomotives. I could be mistaken on that, but I'm not aware of any. If you're looking for reliable steam engines, though, that are not too expensive, go with either old Tyco Mantuas. Those are pretty tough. Usually, if they're old, you need to bring them into a hobby shop or do some maintenance on them yourself. Like anything, they need maintenance. And if you want something that's still cheap, pretty reliable, then look for old Mahano and IHC locomotives. Those old steam engines, they're not like the most reliable machines out there, but they're pretty good. And yeah, you can usually find them for like, you know, $50. So for your money, you usually get something that's pretty nice. I saw a little yellow critter on top shelf in the section towards the top of the middle. What is that? Does it run? Are you talking about what's this called here? The Whitcomb Switcher. Yes. It does run. I bought this thing. I couldn't believe this. I was at a train show, and they were selling a whole bunch of these old engines for $5 each. So I saw this thing, and I immediately snapped it up because I was like, oh, that looks cool, which is how I buy most of my trains. But anyway, I snapped it up. It turned out it had a lot of problems electrically, but it does run. It's not flawless, but yeah, it's all right. I only paid $5 for it, so what can you say? Can you run your Doodlebug loco? Yeah, we can run the little Doodlebug. Here, let's see if the switcher makes it all the way back without stalling out. MTH is getting brought back. By who? Yeah, he's running the TGV. I try to run the request. I'm gonna have to find the Doodlebug. I moved it a few days ago. Here it is. Yeah, I'm gonna be kind of daring, and I'm gonna try to run these both together. I'm not sure how well this is gonna go, but the TGV is coming too. I need to get this thing on the track quickly. There we go. Oh, this thing's so much slower than the TGV. Yeah, look at the little thing go. Yeah, the little Whitcomb Switcher is hilarious. I'm so happy I decided to buy that thing. Can you run a BNSF? Yeah, sure. Oh no. Oh dear. It's so slow, the TGV, which is a really light locomotive, managed to ram it off the track. Unbelievable. Adam Burns, hey SMT, have you shipped the Loco I won yet? Can't wait to have it in my layout. I haven't shipped them out. I was just waiting for some confirmation back from the other winner, because I want to bring them both to the post office on the same day there. I have to be careful not to mix those up. Run the Canadian Shark Nose. That thing's not running all that great. I don't know what changed on it, but last time I was running that thing on Canada Day, it was really doing some funny stuff. Where did you find that little yellow thing? Yeah, at a train show. Run your Turkish steam locomotive, the green, with the green and white locos. The Swedish one? I don't think I own any Turkish ones. Can you please run something mini HO scale? Oh, I've got just the right thing in store for that. You thought the Whitcomb Switcher was cute? Check this out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to retrieve this though, otherwise that TGV is gonna ram this thing right off the rails. Run some Main Central. Get one of those. Can you run the SP Daylight? The steam engine doesn't run so great. Oh man, this is gonna be tricky. If it can make it to the curve, oh boy. Oh, that was close. One of these days I'm going to fall on the layout reaching over like that. I can just barely reach the other side. Please run the Grand Trunk Western. The SD40-2. Can you please run the Runaway Train consist? Sure. Red Barn Train says, call the little loco the Beatles yellow switcher machine. That's brilliant. The yellow switcher machine. I like that. Very good. 10 out of 10 on the joke there. Red Barn Trains. Well done. Phoenix Smith, so how's your day going? Oh, it's going well. How's yours? Okay, so we've got a whole variety of requests. I think I'm going to run the Wakefield train a bit later, because usually we finish off the streams with those, so I will run that one at some point, but for the time being, what we should probably run is, I've drawn a blank. Well, somebody requested that Grand Trunk. This thing's pretty fast, I think. We'll just run it with the TGV. That will be okay. Yeah, there we go. The TGV is such a jerk. Yeah, it rams people right off the road. Like, who drives like that? Pretty slick looking train though. I mean, you can't deny like that. Yeah, good old Alstom design right there. Hello from Australia. Oh, we got somebody from Australia in here. That's cool. Oh boy. Okay, that's not that bad. I thought the derailment was worse. That's not good. Okay. I just heard a lot of wheels coming off, and I figured there was probably something not good going on. But it ended up to be something not that bad. I think the GT does need a bit of TLC, though, honestly. Does SMT own any Norfolk Southern locomotives? If you do, can you run it? If not, could you run any AC 400s or the Canadian Pacific or BNSF? Well, I definitely own a Norfolk Southern. I'll run it if I can find it. There it is. Run a CSX, please. I wonder if the CSX could keep pace with the TGV. I don't think this one's as fast as the TGV. Except I don't think the TGV is going to be successful at ramming this one off the road, because it's an old Athearn blue box. It's got a die-cast frame. It's not going anywhere. So it's like a tank. SMT, have you ever considered putting a rocket on a dummy and light it, make it run with power? There was a guy years ago who did that on New Year's, which oh no. Uh-oh, Scooby. There was a guy that did that years ago on New Year's, back in like 2012. I was like 11. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. He hollowed it. What he did was he hollowed out a tank car, so he sawed off the end, and then yeah, he put the rocket inside of that, and he set up a track in his driveway and launched it off. I wish I could tell you what the video was called. I don't even know if it's still on the internet anymore. Oh, it's smaller than Z scale. Ram it. Sean's Trains. I'm 5 away from 50 subs. Okay, well, everyone go check out Sean's Trains then. What are your table dimensions? I don't actually know. This is over 4 feet wide. It's either 4 or slightly over 4 feet. I don't know the length. It's a question that gets asked every live stream, though, so maybe I should get a measuring tape one day and check out the dimensions of the entire layout, and then I'll write them down somewhere, like solder them right into the table here, and then when somebody asks, I'll just point them to that. Greetings from Maine, SMT. Did you hear Canadian Pacific may be purchasing Pan Am Railways? No, I didn't hear about that. SMT, who is best, boxcars or tank cars? Personally, I've always been a bigger fan of boxcars, but to each their own. I don't know. They both serve different purposes. It's kind of hard to compare them. Please run some CSX trains. Okay. Can we make a manifest? I think that might be beyond my pay grade. I can build a consist of 3 cars or so. Probably more. I can put some more freighters on there. Okay, this overshot where I need to pull it over. So we're just going to run the TGV full speed here. See, go overdrive. Yeah, 3-pole motors. These things are quick on their heels when you need them to be. Yeah. All right. Cafe Excellence. SMT, run the derail. The Canadian National cowl frame, which is rebranded to that. Railfan 2007, welcome. Okay, so we got that off the main line. A lot of people seem to be requesting some CSX equipment, so we're going to look for my only CSX locomotive. At least I think, which is located right here. So I just need to keep things up on the shelf, and I'll never lose a thing. I see the Locomotives. Hi, SMT. You remember me? You're, yeah, I remember you from a previous stream. Can you please run the Etsy engine? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, by the way, I went back on Etsy. We may have a second part to that coming out where I might have bought some more shady model trains off of Etsy. This next episode, I think, I'm hoping it's going to be more interesting than the last one, because it's I did buy something that is really unusual. It was overpriced, but by probably, I don't know, like $10. But honestly, I was willing to pay it just to find out exactly what it is, because it's very strange. So that should be interesting. Don't know how long those are going to take to come in, though. I think it said they're from Canada, but, you know, Canada's a pretty big place. Like, is it Canada as in, like, Toronto, or is it Canada as in Alberta? Because if it's from Toronto, it's probably not going to take that long, but if it's from Alberta, well, it should be interesting. Also, I think a lot of people want me to put some train cars behind this, so we'll do it. Cleve Brands, hello. I like the old school E8 and E9 kind of. Yeah, those are cool. I've always been a big fan of F units, so to me those are just like, you know, oversized F units. Like, it's just fantastic. Although my dream F unit is not officially an F unit. It's either an A class or a B class. They're from Australia, and it's like a F unit, but with 2 cabs. They look super cool. Anyway, I'm on the market for one of those, because I'd love to have one of those running around the layout. That would be mint. SMT, could you please run the Union Pacific FP40? I don't think I have one of those. Union Pacific FP40. I'm pretty sure I don't. Yeah, I've got some Canadian National ones, but I don't think I've got any Canadian Pacific ones. BNSF plus CSX. Oh, people want a collaboration, eh? Don't know how well those are speed. They might be kind of similar gearing, actually. I don't know. Let's see how well speed matched these 2 units are, and then we'll maybe run them together for a little while. CSX crashes, spills, explosion. Oh no. Where do you buy most of your rolling stock? Just random places. A lot of it I got when I was younger. That's usually the higher end stuff. And then the newer stuff, I don't know. I find I just kind of stumble across it. Okay, so the CSX is going to have to lead because it doesn't actually have a front coupler, so yeah, we're going to put this one on here, and then we'll see how well they are in terms of speed. Uh-oh. Okay, so what we've concluded today, the Bachmann is apparently a little bit faster than the Cato, but I don't think that will be too much of a problem, so let's connect them up. All right, here we go. Really appropriate power for a 3-car consist, I think. Adam Collin, SMT, I was down in Old Orchard Beach today and I saw the Quebec flag and thought of you. Down Old Orchard Beach, I don't believe it. I visit Old Orchard Beach every single year I go down to Maine. I love the amusement park there. And yeah, there a lot of French Canadians from Quebec visit up there. So it's pretty funny up in Old Orchard Beach, you know, you're in Maine there. And there are signs saying things like bienvenue and stuff like that. To welcome the all the French Canadians going down there. I don't know. I feel very at home. But yeah, Old Orchard Beach, great place. So much character. My favorite thing about Old Orchard Beach too, they've got a Ferris wheel, and if you time it right, the track goes right beside the amusement park. And one time while I was up on the Ferris wheel, an Amtrak train went by. That was pretty cool. Man, that would make a great rail fanning video. Rail fanning from the top of a Ferris wheel. That'd be so cool. Ryan Fry, how are you tonight? I'm well. How are you? What's your favorite locomotive? And if so, can you run it? Well, one of my favorites is the HCW's 909, and I think I'll run that one at the end of the stream. How many layouts do you have? I have 4 if you include the Hershey factory layout, although there's no track on that, so it doesn't really operate as much of a layout. But will be someday. Buying shady, Auto Model Railfan says, buying shady model trains on Etsy, gone wrong, cops called. It's not that shady, it's just, I don't know, maybe I should rename the series, buying unusual trains off of Etsy. That might be more appropriate. Reminder, Etsy engine, please. All right. SMT, can you show us that one BNSF Loco on the siding track there? The one that's running? I might be reading old comments, because that one's right out there now. Anyway, here's the Etsy train. Yeah, I found out, I thought I'd kind of overpaid for this thing, but I've had a lot of people saying this was actually a good value, so that's good. Downtown Trains, HO. Not F40PH. It's not? DD40AX? We already ran that one earlier. The Unknown Railroader, or Unknown Railroad, sorry. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. Are these Bachmann? This one's Bachmann Spectrum, the other one's Kato. Most all Ather Blue Box engines run the same speed. Yeah, they usually are pretty similar. I mean, sometimes they're going to be different just because of the condition they're in, but generally, yeah, they pretty much all run the same, which is kind of nice because that means I can pair a whole bunch together. The only disadvantage is they're not the most efficient engines out there. So, I mean, you put 3 of those on and you're going to be drawing probably over an amp of power, which is not that great for your controller. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but frankly, I really like these old blue boxes. They're so cool. Yeah, they're cheap, they're reliable, decently detailed, just about everything I could ever want. I would hook the freight cars up to this one, by the way, but it doesn't have any couplers. SMT is reading old comments from like 10 minutes ago. Well, it can't be that long ago because I made that comment about the comments less than 10 minutes ago, and I just read your comments. So if I go through these quick enough, I'll catch up right to the front. Cliff Browns, hello. In fact, I'm at the front of the comments right now. All right. Do you own Conrail units? I've got the $3 Conrail unit, and David Z to G Scale very generously sent a Conrail unit if I can find it. I think it's an Alco something or another. Here it is. It's this RSO, which is regulation, I guess. A test. but actually, it's just an AHM. SMT, were you talking about the Blue Goose? I have some motors that may work in it. That's good to know. I don't know what would even fit in it. Can you please do a CSX, UP, and BNSF? I don't know. I think we're already pushing it with the two. SMT, $400 for a big boy. That's a Golf of mine. Is it? Do you mean goal? Do you like BNSF or NS better? Personally, I like BNSF more, but not because of how they operate their railroad. I just like the paint scheme more. I like only their older paint scheme, only the H2 paint scheme. I actually dislike BNSF's newer. It's not a bad paint scheme, but their older paint scheme is way better. Like, this is just awesome. Their new one's all right. So if I had to choose between those two, then I might pick Norfolk Southern. Any suggestions on riveting a steam locomotive kit? I can't say I have any. I don't think I did such a great job on that myself, honestly. My grandfather loved boxcars because I opened up all of his and there were more boxcars in rolling stock. Can you run a Lionel locomotive? Yeah, get something going on the Lionel line. We're going to run a really old Lionel locomotive. Something from ancient times. At least in terms of model railroad. I don't know when this thing is from, actually. It's probably not that old, but... yeah, it's probably the oldest Lionel engine in HO I have. Great deals, one word, Larkspur. Larkspur is generally pretty good. There are some things that are over what I'd consider a good deal, but I don't know. Every time I go there, I end up walking away with usually a whole variety of different things. Hunter Gambill, welcome. I'd go with CSX mainly because I go to their intermodal terminals multiple times per day. I feel like a lot of people's preferences are really based off of kind of what's in their area, you know, what they rail fan and stuff like that. That's just my guess anyway. I'd be curious to see if you had the exact same railroads all operating in the same place, what people's preferences would be. If there would be one that would be preferred over the others or not. Ancient a while back. When you say ancient times, I say a 1930s Marx. It's all relative. It's like technology years. The computer, if you have a phone, like a cell phone from 2010, that's from ancient times in my book, but that's technological years. You know, it's like dog years versus human years. You know, there's like a ratio. So it's model train years to regular years. But yeah, I don't know. I think the oldest engine I have is either some really odd German rail car there, or the other option is whenever this thing was made, although I don't entirely know now because it turned out what I thought was the year it was made was actually just a parts number. Funny how it works like that. Yeah, anyway. Bloost Brian? I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Do you have any Pennsylvania Railroad rolling stock? Don't think so. Do you have any Penn Central locos? Yeah, we can run some Penn Central locos. I'll run, as far as I know, the only Penn Central engine I have. Also happens to be N-scale. This was another David Z to G scale edition here. I'm gonna have to plug in the N-scale controller. Bear with me for a moment here, as I attempt not to electrocute myself. All right. How often do you do giveaways, SMT? I usually do them after any major milestones on the channel. SMT, could you do a video about wiring an LED light to an Atlas account controller? Yeah, I guess I could. I bought those LEDs off of eBay. This thing's not running all that great, actually. Future restoration. But I don't know how I'm going to wire those up, to be completely honest. I think I need to buy some resistors or something. White's Workbench, hello, how are you? Hey, SMT, today I saw one of those Canadian Pacific stripped scheme engines. Do you have any Bachmann Spectrum with DCC and sound? Yeah, I've got I've got Bachmann sound value stuff, but I don't think any of it's Spectrum. It's all just, whatever you want to call it, baseline Bachmann. Locos with pancake motors have 2 speeds. Still, and Mach 1.25. Yeah, the little 3-poles, those things really kick out a ton of speed. Let me see. I want to find a 3-pole engine. That way we can really prove just how much power you can push out of them. They're pretty peppy. Although the Athearn blue boxes, which have gear reductions and 5-pole motors, are still pretty fast. But they only go fast when you give them like a ton of power. The 3-poles will go very fast with usually not that much power unless they're in bad condition. But I mean, here's one for example. Well, that actually doesn't even look that fast, honestly, but yeah, it's quick on its heels. You gave 10K gifts at 1.3K. Yeah, that's just how it all turned out. SMT, I have Mahano. Use Thunderbolt Express. Engine doesn't run. Will you do more restoration videos on Mahano trains in the future? If I come across one, the truth is I've only had to do a little bit of work on some of my Mahano steam engines because, frankly, they just never really broke on me. The only time my number 6060, that one seized once, but I took it to that was like in 2012, and I took it to the hobby shop, and they took care of it, so I don't actually know what happened to it, so... But, yeah, other than that, last Christmas, I gave my, the same locomotive a little bit of work just because it needed it, but, that's been it. Okay, I think somebody posted a super chat and I didn't see it because it says the number went up there. I'm just going to double check here and make sure. Oh, yeah, Downtown Trains. 8 subscribers away from 100. Well, everyone go check out Downtown Trains. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Serenity. Sorry, I missed that. I don't know where it went. GP9, please. Can you run your player at Loco? The steam engine? Oh, man, I have to fix that thing. It's still really loud. I think there's a problem with one of the bearings. Somebody wants a GP9. Although somebody was also requesting the Runaway Train, which I think has a GP9 in it, so maybe we could just set that thing up and then everybody gets what they want. If pancake motor engines had cab controls, there would be 2 notches, not enough power to move, and the land speed record. Yeah, it would be interesting for the operators. I think I'm gonna have an avalanche if I pull these out. Okay, we're gonna disassemble this properly before something negative happens. There we go. Any Boston and Maine. E8 might be Boston. I mean, most of them are just Main Central, though. That one's Main Central. I think the other one is. I don't know where the E8 is at the moment. I'm going to have to go dig that up. I really like that engine, actually. Anyway, where's that E8 at? Here it is. Oh, it's also Main Central. Well, I've got one more, I think it's an F unit of some sort. I don't know where that one is now. But they might all be Main Central. I don't know, to be honest. Can you make trains go over the diagonal bridge? That's not really connected up. The switch is a little bit funny. I never should have bought those switches. I should have known something was wrong. They're being sold for such a cheap price. $5 a pop for these really fancy Japanese-made switches. It's like, oh, that seems like a good deal. And then it turned out you have to wire them specially, and 2 of them turned out to be code 83. I don't know. I thought I was making off with a great deal. It just turned out to be somebody getting rid of something I think they knew was not that great. Dale's Trains. Haven't done this for a while. Well, thank you for the super chat of $4.20. Serenity! Daylight doesn't run, sadly. Yeah, it's I need to sort that thing out. Or make a parody of the movie Tough Guys, and that can be its last hurrah. That sounds pretty heroic for it, I think. But yeah, anyway, remaking a parody of Tough Guys, though, would require me taking all that track I bought, and then I'm going to have to like build a miniature desert outside or something like that. I don't know where I'm going to get the materials to do something like that, but I don't know. I wonder if I could find like a local quarry or something. Figure out, I don't know, something that can mimic a desert. The farm I used to work out had a sand pit. Maybe I could just film it out there. I think you're the best. Thank you so much, HO Scale Athearn Genesis fan. Very first video I saw of yours in 2019 is when you ran your trains in the snow. That was a popular video. I never thought that was just having a little bit of fun with the trains. I'd always wanted to do that. So it's just like, oh, I'll just make a little video about it. And then it got 3,000 views. Oh, okay. And then it just kept climbing. And then eventually it wound up getting 200,000 views. And then YouTube posted it on their Instagram. Unbelievable. But anyway, it was a good time. Any luck finding a big boy? I found one the other day on eBay, and it seemed to be staying in a good price range, and then a whole bunch of people went crazy bidding for it, and it went through the roof. And then there was this other guy who reached out to me. He's like, hey, I just found a big boy for 125 American dollars on this Facebook buy and sell group. It's Riverosity. It looked like it was in great shape, so not a bad price. And all I have to do is pay for shipping. So the guy was like, here, I'll go get you his phone number. And then he contacted me later. He's like, yeah, it's already been sold. A desert in Canada. We don't have deserts, but we've got like sand pits and we've got quarries all over the place. So SMT, your childhood sandbox. I don't know how much bags of sand cost. What I could do, I could clear off part of the deck. I could buy a bucket of sand from somewhere. I'm not sure where I'd get that. Lay out a tarp, dump the sand on top of that, go to the dollar store, buy those cheap bags of moss, And then yeah, I could build some scenery and then maybe build a small desert. Sounds kind of complicated though. SMTs, the train you have, yeah, 3 of these are dummy units. Do you have any garden trains, buddy? No garden railroad. I remember that video of trains in the snow. Yeah, that was an interesting one. The only desert in Canada is the again in the Arctic. SMT, do you have Athern's Trainmaster Fahrenbakes H2466 or the more powerful vintage brass red ball import? I've got a Athern Trainsmaster, which is the Southern Pacific I was running earlier, but I don't know about those other 2 things. A couple buckets at Home Depot or Lowe's. Yeah, I don't know. I always find myself going to the hardware store for all sorts of projects, so maybe next time I'm out there, I'll just find some sand and go from there. Do you have Dollar Tree in Canada? Oh, we sure do. It's one of my favorite stores. I've actually thought about making a video. I don't know how far 20 bucks could get you buying things for your model railroad at Dollar Tree. People trying to build a layout on a budget, honestly, dollar stores can be very helpful because they sell a lot of craft materials, which, obviously not all, none of it's really intended for model railroads, but that doesn't mean it can't be used for them. Some TV checked out Transport Fever 2, so many types of trains, and you get to manage cities. I've never heard of that before. I have a custom painted GB40 without dynamic brakes. Made it AWVR. That's pretty cool. Sandbags are pretty heavy. You're probably going to need some help carrying them, but they're not that expensive. Well, I think it depends on how big they are. I don't know what type of sandbags I've moved sandbags before, at least the type they're using to like when they have floods there. What is the Runaway? Well, this is a Runaway Train from the 1985 movie Runaway Train. Finally made it in. Welcome. Can you please run some Ohio steam engines? I don't know if I have any of those. Run the daylight. The daylight doesn't run. G-scale is not garden scale. That's what so many people in G-scale get mad about, is if you say that the G in G-scale is, the G stands for garden. I mean, let's be honest though, almost all garden railways are in fact G-scale, so I don't know. I kind of associate G-scale with garden. I don't really know anybody who has an indoor G-scale layout. I know people in the community that have outdoor G-scale layouts though. Yeah, garden scale. Trying to find a request here. A 50 bag of sand costs around $4 to $10 apparently. Well, that's not that expensive. All right. You do some switching. This freight yard is still not finished. It's a bit of a mimic, but I've kind of just put some stuff there to make it look like it works. Just spent $20 at Dollarama and Dollar Tree, and my layout is half done now. Well, you can buy paint, and you can buy that moss stuff as ground cover, and you can buy all sorts of different tools super cheap. So, yeah, if you want to build your layout on a budget, it's really not a bad option. I've most of the material, at least for glue and stuff like that, glue and paint, that's almost all from the dollar store. I think I spent, I don't know, $7 in glue and paint on that entire layout right there. Really, really not that bad. Okay, trains to run. Could you please run the Canadian National 6060? Yeah, we can run that. Just need to find it. I think it's on the Hershey factory layout. Do you have any Southern Railway or Norfolk Western locomotives? I believe I do. Semi-streamlined mountain type. Is that the number 6060? Oh, it's over there. In Washington, USA, 100 pounds of sand costs 80 USD. I guess sand must be a lot cheaper here, because I don't know. Because Automodel Railfan was saying 50 pounds of sand, which is half that, is only like $10 here, and that's also 10 Canadian dollars, which, let's see, double that. You've got 20 Canadian dollars. I think at the current exchange rate, that works out to like, let's see, it'd be like 40% less, so minus $8. $12. That sounds too low. I think I'm wrong on my math there, but it's not near to as expensive. I'll say that. Hi SMT, I just joined. That's a fantastic model of that movie, by the way. Thank you. I don't think there is Maynard's in Canada. Yeah, Maynard's a type of store. We've got the Maynard's candy. I think we've got those. But yeah, I don't think we've got all sorts of weird. We've got Loblaws here, and if you're on the Quebec side, Provigo, which is the same thing. Great Canadian Superstore. All sorts of unusual brands that don't exist in America. And of course, President's Choice, which used to sell these exact train sets. Although President's Choice, I think, is part of Loblaws. I don't know. I miss when they were selling those train sets in the store. That was so cool. You mean the what? Gavin's KC train videos. Welcome. I got this thing, I think it was Christmas 2007, and I just gave it a little bit of work last Christmas there. And look, it's running smooth as ever. I can't believe that next year the layout, or at least part of my collection, is going to be like 15 years old. Unbelievable. Can you run the work train? I would run the entire work train, but I think I either broke or lost one of the linkages, and I've got some spares, but yeah, I don't know. David Z2G scale, I just checked Lowe's. 60 pounds of sand is only $5.50. Well, that's not bad. I mean, that's $5 American dollars, but I don't know what that would be in Canadian, like 7 or 8 Canadian dollars. I'm almost the same age as this layout. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, though. There are kids that were born when this layout was built, and they're now old enough to have YouTube accounts. That's funny. What kind of music do you like, SMV? There's not really a specific kind, to be honest. Pretty much all of it. I'm working on making a playlist on my channel, because it's a very common question, of 5 of my favorite songs from every year, from 1963 all the way to 2013. And I picked 2013 because 2013, in my opinion, actually had quite a few decent songs, but 2014 was just a trash year for music, as far as I'm concerned. I know I might not have popular opinion that there were some good songs in the 2010s. Most of them were not that great, but there are some. So, but I wasn't going to make it difficult, because trying to find some good songs in 2014 would be all but impossible, so I decided to end it at 2013, so you got 1963 to 2013. 50 years of music, so we'll see how that goes. Dirty Dance Trains, welcome. Sean O'Brien, welcome. Zane Hinman, hello. I was born in 2003, so I'm older than the layout. Hey, Dan. Leaving, good night, talk later. I love 70s and 80s country, like C.W. McCall. B&O Railroad. It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel float. Yeah, that's part of the music that I don't like. Anything made by Logan Paul. Except Ricegum. Ricegum's got some great music, as everybody knows. Thank you so much for making my day. I'm really happy I got to see 2 trains I've always asked to see run. Yeah, excellent. I like the 60s, the 50s had some good stuff. The 40s, there are a few songs from the 40s that I like. Mostly 50s. 60s was a great year for music. There were so many good songs from there. 70s is pretty good. The 80s, oh my gosh, so much gold from there. Can't say I've found a whole lot from the 90s I'm too crazy about. That's been the toughest part of putting together the playlist. The 2000s, too. I do quite like music from the 2000s. Except it's pretty funny seeing how unsubtle they were about product placement back then. SMT Superstore, you mean? Why are you calling the Superstore a stupid store? That doesn't make any sense. How many Camelback locomotives do you have? 2 now. SMT needs to make a mega trains. All the engines in the cars, love to see that. SMT, do not sing that. It's every day, bro. But Kevin, how am I supposed to get the Disney Channel flow going on my channel without that? Rush the Pride of Canada, one of the best rock bands ever. Yes, the band Rush that made the 2 songs there that I know. There's Tom Sawyer. There's another really good one, though. Can't remember it. Reminder to the viewers: no swearing if possible. Yeah, like only swearing in good context, right? Uh, 1910s to the 60s was when music was good, not crappy and dumb. Yeah, I don't know. There's some okay stuff from them, but I don't know. I find most of it's, I don't know, 60s, 80s, and 2000s as far as I'm concerned. But art's in the eye of the beholder, so I'm sure a lot of people may agree or disagree with that. Ottawa has progress on the Hershey It's kind of at a bit of a standstill, but I want to go buy some supplies over the weekend, and then we can start building it again. And BN Brett says, Harrison 2020, why are you calling Superstore stupid store? If there's a quote I'm going to finish off 2020 with, that's going to be it, all right. Hey, SMT, there's another YouTuber from Canada called Spy Cakes. Never heard of that channel before. Tom Sawyer, yeah. SMT will go down a path we cannot follow. What is that supposed to mean? The Devil's music, Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Yeah, that's very true. Anyway, it's getting somewhat late, so I'm going to probably run the final train of the night, which is, of course, the HCW's 909. How's the progress on the Yellowstone? Not currently any, but I'm optimistic about it. AC/DC is a good rock band. AC/DC's got some good stuff. I like some of their stuff. Same with Aerosmith. I like Aerosmith. Canada is my city. Tonight's live stream is hilarious. I think people are trying to wind me up. So SMT, I own a vintage big boy that somebody gave me. I don't know if you know how to make it run with at least DC. Could you ever help me with that? I'm fairly sure it's from the 60s or 70s. It's probably a Riverossa. I don't know what would be wrong with that. Probably an electrical problem. Anyway. Wakefield train. Totally not a Rickroll. I've got the ultimate Rickroll because my friends tried to Rickroll me the other day, but it didn't go so well for them because they sent it, but you know, almost all like social medias now, when you send a link, it just puts the video. But what a lot of people don't know is that there's an episode of Family Guy from the 2000s, I think, and Brian at the end of it ends up singing Never Gonna Give You Up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna download that part of the video, I'm gonna put it somewhere, and then I'm gonna say, hey, you guys should check out this Family Guy skit. They're gonna go into it all innocently, and then bam, it's gonna be right there, and I'll rickroll them. It's gonna be great. Can't wait for that. This is how I keep myself entertained. It's probably not healthy. Metallica's good. I haven't heard a whole lot of music from Metallica, so I can't really say I know. The Eagles is a pretty good band too. I saw them live in concert last year. They're up in Ottawa. That was pretty cool. What about Pink Floyd? Pink Floyd's got some great music right there. I think it's Pink Floyd. Listen, I don't know the exact name of the song, but Brick in the Wall, is that it? That's a good song. SMT, do you like GE or EMD? GE. SMT, where did you learn to fix and repair engines? I didn't go anywhere except, yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I just learned through trial and error. Oh no, not again. 2000 Rickroll. Let's hope they aren't watching. No, they don't really know too much about this channel's existence, so they're not gonna know my evil plan to trick them into getting Rickrolled. You just spoiled it. It doesn't matter. They're not gonna know about it. It's gonna be so. Unless they know the Family Guy skit, then they might catch on. But what I could do to really catch them off guard is, I don't know, maybe upload some sort of like a different thumbnail to just really kind of, you know, kind of mess with their mojo there, and then they're gonna go in, they're gonna click on the video, and then Brian's going to sing Never Gonna Give You Up, and they'll be rickrolled. That's gonna be the ultimate rickroll of my entire lifetime. Van Halen, haven't heard a whole lot. Linkin Park, yeah, Linkin Park's so all right. Are the Eagles in wheelchairs? I don't think so. I think that's a joke. I can't tell. Things go over my head. SMT, if you had any Lego trains, what were they? I had the Horizon Express, which was some sort of TGV set, I think. And that was about it. Do you watch H3? Yeah, I still watch H3. I used to be a really big fan of H3, and he's kind of lost my respect over the years, unfortunately, but I don't think he's like a bad person or anything like that. Toto. Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's alright. He's made some good stuff. Ottawa, are you able to find a T43 for a good price? No, I'm still on the market for one. Yeah, that's pretty funny, GAEJL. So that might I don't know, catch them on. I have to be careful about how I go about doing that. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to rickroll my friends, and I can't botch it. I need to execute this mission with absolute precision to make sure that they receive the maximum amount of trolling, because they tried to troll me. It didn't go well for them thanks to modern technology, and this time I'm ready, so they're they're not going to be expecting it. Who's H3? He's a YouTuber who became kind of popular through reaction videos. Pretty funny, actually, but yeah, a little bit more controversial these days. Anyway, I think I'm going to end off the live stream now, and yeah, I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you so much for everyone for dropping by. I'm just going to read a few of these comments. Have you listened to any music made by Chuck Berry or Jerry Lewis? I don't think I have. Why is there another one of your grandmother's trains to the left on the table when you're at your controls? Another one of my this is the only one of my grandmother's trains up here. All these are not hers. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, have a great night, everyone. Final shot.